One day, during a burial in their hometown, the ladies were meant to attend, but for some reasons, Ada, who usually made it a point to attend such events, had called to say she couldn't make it because she was feeling unwell. Concerned but preoccupied with events, Chioma and Nne went ahead without her. At the burial, the two friends unexpectedly ran into one of Ada's neighbors from the city. In the course of their discussion, the woman casually mentioned that Ada had been through a lot lately. It's a shame. Her husband beat her again and locked up her shop. She hasn't opened it in weeks and was just discharged from the hospital. Once upon a time in Obego village, there lived three young girls who were known by everyone for their inseparable bond. Chioma, Ada and Nne grew up together, bonded in relationship, irrespective of their different family backgrounds. Chioma was the daughter of a kind-hearted village carpenter. Her mother, a quiet woman, had instilled in her a sense of ambition and a love for creativity. Chioma was always seen stitching up torn clothes, and it was no surprise to anyone when she expressed her desire to become a fashion designer as she became a teenager. Ada, on the other hand, came from a family of traders. Her father was a well-known figure in the market. Ada was vivacious, with a sharp tongue. She had a natural talent for business and was often seen in the market haggling over goods prices, such to the amusement of the traders. Her dreams were to own businesses. Nne was the calmest of the girls, the daughter of the village teacher. Her family was known and respected for their wisdom and integrity. Nne wanted a simple life, filled with love and peace. As the girls grew older, their bond only strengthened. They attended the same secondary school, went to school and returned home together. They shared their dreams and fears and comforted each other through the trials of adolescence. Their friendship grew stronger with time, but as they reached the age of marriage, they faced an inevitable separation. Each had received marriage proposals from suitors in different cities, and the prospect of leaving their beloved village and each other was daunting. Yet they faced it with the same courage and support they have always had for each other. Chioma was the first to marry. Her suitor Emeka was a businessman from a neighboring village. He owned a shop in the city's market where he dealt in electronics. Chioma's parents were pleased with the match as Emeka was a man of good standing and means. On the day of her wedding, Chioma dressed up in a gorgeous outfit she had made by herself. Amongst her Eshebi girls was Ada and Nne. Chioma stood before her friends with tears in her eyes. "I will miss you both." Ada and Nne hugged her tightly and promised to visit her as often as they could. Ada's marriage followed shortly after. She married Obinna, a railway worker who had recently been transferred to a city not far from where Chioma lived. Ada's father, pleased with Obinna's steady job, had quickly agreed to the marriage. On the day of her departure, Ada put on a brave face, hiding her sadness behind her fake smiles as she spoke to her friend Nne. "Don't worry, we will see each other soon, I promise." Nne was the last to marry. She married Chike, a man from their village who ran a stationery business in the city's market. Chioma and Ada attended her wedding and promised to hold on to the bond they shared. "We will always be friends no matter where life takes us," they promised themselves. They started their new lives, each in a different city. As the years passed, the realities of marriage and adulthood began to test their friendship. The distance, both physical and emotional, started to take its toll. They met less frequently, only during Christmas and on special occasions. Chioma's move to the city was a significant change. She pursued her passion for fashion, and with her husband's encouragement, she opened her fashion shop. It wasn't just any shop. It quickly became one of the most sought after in the city. Her unique craftsmanship and commitment to sewing attracted customers from all over the state and beyond. Although her charges were high, people flocked to her shop, knowing they would receive well-fitted and stylish apparel. "What I ordered is what I got" is the name her clients call her. Her hard work gained her a reputation as a top fashion designer. She made costumes for movie producers and sewed clothes for celebrities at a high cost. Ada decided to open a bar, the bar where people enjoy lively atmosphere and delicious local delicacies like nkwobi, fish pepper soup and snails. It quickly became popular. Ada's vibrant personality and love for business made her bar a favorite spot for evening gatherings and weekend parties. Unlike Chioma, Ada often boasted about her husband's generosity. She frequently mentioned how Obinna spoiled her, bought her gifts and ensured she didn't have to spend her money on household needs. Ada spoke to her friends about her blue Toyota Corolla, which she claimed was a push gift from Obinna after the birth of their first child. She loved the car and how it reminds her of her husband's love and care towards her. Ada's married life seemed perfect on the surface. She often regaled Chioma and Nne with stories of her husband's thoughtful gestures and their luxurious lifestyles. She portrayed an image of a happy marriage, filled with love and prosperity. Her friends admired her seemingly perfect life and the affection Obinna showed her. However, Ada's portrayal of her marriage was far from the truth. Chioma's sewing business recorded many successes, but the success of her business came with its own set of challenges, as she found herself taking on a significant portion of the financial responsibilities at home. While Emeka's business was steady, it was not as lucrative as Chioma's, and he struggled to contribute equally. Chioma often covered household expenses, including the house rent, bills, and even car's maintenance. She was proud of her achievements, but could not help feeling the weight of being the primary breadwinner. Chioma loved Emeka, but the pressure of managing both her business and their household sometimes left her feeling resentful. She wondered why she had to shoulder most of the financial burden, while her friends seemed to have more supportive husbands. These thoughts, however, were kept hidden, as she only nursed them in her quiet moments when she was alone. Unbeknownst to Chioma, behind closed doors, Ada's marriage was fraught with challenges. Obinna was not the loving and supportive husband she made him out to be. He was controlling and often abusive, both emotionally and physically. He contributed little to the household expenses, and Ada was forced to use her earnings from the bar to cover the bills, rent, and their children's school fees. The car she proudly flaunted was not a gift from Obinna but a purchase made possible by her brother, who supported her family financially. Ada's lifestyle in front of her friends was pretense, a way to mask the pain and humiliation she felt. She feared the judgment and pity telling her story would bring her, and so chose to present a false image of her marriage. Nne's life was more stable compared to her friends. Her calm and wise nature complemented her husband's hardworking and dedicated personality. Together, they built a modest but comfortable life. Nne was content with her simple life. She enjoyed working alongside her husband, managing the business and taking care of their home. They weren't wealthy, but they were happy and lived within their means. Nne's focus was on maintaining a peaceful and loving household, something she had always valued. She didn't crave the luxurious lifestyle that Ada flaunted or the high-pressure career that Chioma had. Nne often played the role of a mediator and a counselor in her friendship with Chioma and Ada. Her wisdom and calm demeanor made her a source of comfort and guidance. She noticed the changes in Chioma whenever Ada spoke about her marriage. Nne also noticed the inconsistencies in Ada's stories, but chose not to confront her, respecting her friend's privacy. Regardless of the challenges Chioma faced, Nne remained close and continued to offer her support and advice. She always reminded Chioma of the importance of love and understanding in marriage. Nne's own marriage was far from perfect, but she believed in the power of communication and mutual respect, and encouraged her friend Chioma to focus on her blessings and not compare her life to Ada's or anyone else. As the years passed, the relationship between them continued to wax stronger. They physically met once in a while, yet whenever they did, it was as if no time had passed. They sat together, shared stories of their lives, their joys and their struggles. Ada's constant boasting about her seemingly perfect marriage became a sore point for Chioma, who could not help but feel envious and inadequate. After every meeting, Chioma felt overwhelmed by the responsibilities of being the primary provider in her household. Her irritation towards Emeka grew worse, and she began to distance herself from him emotionally. The pressure of resuming a successful business and managing their home took a toll on her, and she often felt exhausted and unappreciated. Ada, on the other hand, continued to maintain her lies. She couldn't bring herself to admit the truth about her marriage, not even to her closest friends. The shame of her situation kept her from seeking help. Nne always reminded Chioma of Emeka's good qualities and the importance of supporting each other in marriage. One day, during a burial in their hometown, the ladies were meant to attend, but for some reasons, Ada, who usually made it a point to attend such events, had called to say she couldn't make it because she was feeling unwell. Concerned but preoccupied with events, Chioma and Nne went ahead without her. At the burial, the two friends unexpectedly ran into one of Ada's neighbors from the city. In the course of their discussion, the woman casually mentioned that Ada had been through a lot lately. It's a shame. Her husband beat her again and locked up her shop. She hasn't opened it in weeks and was just discharged from the hospital. Chioma and Nne were stunned. They couldn't believe what they were hearing. Ada's life, which seemed so perfect and enviable, was far from the truth. Unaware of their shock, the neighbor continued. You don't know? Your friend is suffering and smiling. Her brother was the one who opened that shop for her and bought her that car. Her husband contributes nothing to the household. Ada pays all the rent, school fees and everything else. And yet, each time they have a problem, he would go and lock up the shop after beating her mercilessly. This revelation was a harsh wake-up call. Chioma felt a mix of guilt and confusion. She had envied Ada's life, but now she realized that her friend had been living a lie, hiding the truth from them. Nne, always the calm and collected one, was equally shocked but quickly composed herself. They decided to visit Ada unannounced to see for themselves. Chioma and Nne, on their way back to the city, went to Ada's city. They first went to the shop. As they arrived, they noticed the shop had been closed for weeks. They then went to Ada's house. From outside, they could hear raised voices and the sound of things being thrown. They hesitated but decided to knock on the door. Ada opened the door, her face pale and eyes swollen from crying. She was visibly shaking but tried to put on a brave face. "What are you doing here?" Before they could respond, Obinna appeared behind. "You didn't tell me you had visitors," he said, and left the room, giving the women some privacy. Once he was gone, Ada broke down in tears. She confessed everything: how he abuses her, the financial struggles, and the lies she had maintained for so long. Ada revealed that her marriage had been troubled from the start. Obinna was controlling and often violent, and she had endured years of abuse in silence. The gifts and gestures she boasted about were all lies, created to maintain an image of a happy marriage. Her brother had been her primary support, helping her set up her business and also bought her the car. Ada wanted to leave the marriage, but afraid of leaving and facing the stigma of a failed marriage. Chioma and Nne listened in stoned silence. The truth was far more painful than they had imagined. Ada's suffering was hidden behind a mask of confidence and pretense. The unexpected visit to Ada's house left Chioma with a sense of shame for envying Ada and resenting her own husband. She realized her marriage, despite its challenges, was built on love and mutual respect. Emeka might not have been able to provide financially as much as she did, but he had always been supportive and caring. Chioma returned home that day and apologized to Emeka for her behavior. Ada, on the other hand, faced a difficult decision. She knew she couldn't continue living a lie and enduring the abuse. With her friends' support, she sought the support of her family and finally found the courage to leave Obinna. It was a painful and challenging process, but Ada knew it was the right choice for her and her children. She filed for a divorce and focused on rebuilding her life without fear and control. Nne's own marriage remained strong, and she continued to prioritize the values of love, respect, and communication that had always guided her. The moral lesson of this story: always be honest with your friends and family. We should appreciate the good things in our lives and never compare ourselves to others, because everyone has their own struggles and strengths, as appearance can be deceiving sometimes. It's important to be open about our struggles instead of pretending everything is perfect. Hello favorite one, thanks for listening to my stories. Your support means the world to me, and I couldn't do this without you. Your likes, comments, and shares keep me motivated to create more stories. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the post notification bell so you never miss out on any of my new stories. Thanks again, and see you in the next story.